hardly able to contain myself because this is episode 269 of Room Tour Project, the series where we show off some of the best setups to give you some ideas, inspiration for your own setup, and we've got some sexy setups today. If you see anything you like, I'll have it all listed for you in the description down below so you can check it out. I've held it this far without busting. Damn it. Let's check it out. Busting like, busting out my laughter, but you get it. First up today, we have the Laminate with a nice dual monitor setup here, highlighted by a really nice light color theme going on. Really digging the, more pastel sort of earthy tones he has to the setup, as well as that big custom decal right behind the monitors to just kind of complete the room a bit and sort of add to the overall theme. That pattern is a really nice matching contrast with the darker walls on each side of the room. So checking out his gear for his two monitors, his main display is an Alienware 34-inch 120Hz display. It's the very popular AW3420DW model with a 27-inch BenQ monitor on the left side in the vertical orientation. For his peripherals, a super sexy setup down here as well, with a custom Tofu 84 keyboard. He has Gateron Black V2 switches inside that are lubed. Really nice looking configuration going on there. With a white Logitech G Pro X Superlight mouse on an Artisan Heian FX soft mousepad. And then for audio, the Focal Elysia. Man, oh man, they're plugged into a shit stack with the Madi 3E and the Magni 3 Plus. You can also see in the back is an Elgato Stream Deck. Then also for audio, mounted above his setup on the wall there are his speakers, the Edifier R1280DBS. The gear on this setup is just out of control. Really loving those nice Lego Porsche models. Well, one's a Porsche, other's a DeLorean. Great use of that Kia Scottis board. The aesthetic here is just so on point with this setup. Now, over to the PC. This is a Lian Li PC011 dynamic case. Inside's an AMD Ryzen 9 5900X CPU with a Lian Li Galahad 360 AIO, 32 gigs of Corsair Vengeance RGB Pro RAM on an MSI Mag B550 Tomahawk motherboard with an MSI RTX 3080 Ti Ventus graphics card. Again, a great looking build, all black and white, matching the peripherals, all black and white, as well as those accents all across the room. This is just looking phenomenal. I am loving everything about this one. And he also has a little mini laptop display going on over on the right side. This is a Gigabyte Aorus G15 XC laptop. Inside's an i7 10870H CPU with a Gigabyte RTX 3070 for graphics. And hooked up over here is a Keychron K2 wireless V2 with Logitech G305 Lightspeed mouse. So Delaminate, I apologize if I'm butchering the pronunciation of your name, but you did not butcher this setup. Your wallet might be butchered with the crazy, just phenomenal choice of gear all across the board here, but that's okay. Well worth it, right? Now, next up, we've got Easy89, and this setup is just so unique in the sense that a lot of the way this came together, it's mostly DIY stuff. That is a custom pine desk. The entire PC is made in this DIY copper case, pretty much. Open frame. We'll get into all that obviously coming up, but I love the look of this room. The decor. It's dark, it's moody, it's earthy. This is just fantastic. My only criticism, though, I would say, is the wallpaper doesn't really match the setup theme, but that's okay. So for that display, it is a 27-inch LG Ultra Gear model, the 27GP850. Mounted on each side of that are the Presonus Aris E3.5. And down to its peripherals, there's a Razer Huntsman Mini with the Razer Viper Ultimate mouse on a BenQ Zowie G mousepad. So desktop in terms of peripherals, pretty simplified, right? Not a lot of other stuff going on in terms of gear and hardware, because obviously he wants the main focal point here to be that custom PC. That's really what's stealing the entire show here, along with just the decor of the room, because that's what all ties it together. It's literally one with the room. Got the fake ivy kind of going down, being intertwined with the copper case, the wooden desk, the wooden shelves, the art on the wall. It is it's just gorgeous. It really is. This custom copper open frame is all DIY, which definitely helps accentuate the custom water cooling is going on as well. So inside this build, an AMD Ryzen 5 3600X with an MSI Tomahawk Max motherboard, 16 gigs of Corsair Dominator Platinum RGB RAM with a KFA2 RTX 2070 Super GPU. We have a Beisky Freeze Mod CPU block, and the pump is from Corsair, it's the Hydro X. But man, it is just absolutely probably one of the most unique builds I've seen in a while in terms of just really going all out and making it DIY like this. Like I said, it's the focal point of the entire room and the setup. The desk itself, nice and simple. Got just the requirements for your peripherals, right? One monitor, but it all ties back to that copper build. Easy, man. I'm sure this wasn't easy, but it is sexy. Now, next we've got Threx, and as you guys can tell, we are not pumping the brakes at all. Crazy nice triple monitor setup, gloriously spanned wallpaper here, and a ton of Nanoleaf light panels, the Nanoleaf lines, and a ton of money went into that, as you can imagine. But hot damn, this is sexy. And check out the ceiling. Bet you didn't see that coming. Got that whole Starry Night vibe. It is just, this is a wildly crazy, awesome setup by Threx. Man, all right. So for those three monitors, another 27-inch LG Ultra Gear panel, 4K, 165 Hertz, 1 millisecond response time. He's got three of them. That's some serious screen real estate for gaming. They are mounted and aligned perfectly. Then down to the peripherals, we have a Razer Huntsman Elite keyboard, the Razer Viper Ultimate mouse, of course, on a Razer Goliathus extended Chroma mousepad, an Elgato Stream Deck right above that, and for his speakers, we have the Razer Nomo Chroma. Man, pretty much all Razer despite the Elgato Stream Deck. This again, another setup that pretty much keeps the clutter down to a minimum and only has the essentials, and I love seeing that. Now, over to the PC. Another Leon Lee PC011 dynamic case, and this is actually, guess what? It's the Razer edition here. Inside's an Intel i9 9900K CPU with an NZXT Kraken X72 AIO, 64 gigs of Corsair Vengeance RGB Pro RAM, on the Asus ROG Strix Maximus 11 Hero motherboard, and the Asus ROG Strix RTX 3090 for the graphics card. Definitely a powerful build. All the RGB in here is synced to purple as well to match the rest of the setup. You gotta love when it matches just all around the room here. And speaking of all around the room, mounted right behind that, it's got a nice TV to kick back and get some console gaming done. He didn't really provide any info on the TV, probably looks around like a 55-inch or bigger. But check out the coffee table that folds out as a little mini fridge, and the Oreos is what got me here. I mean, if you weren't sold already by the setup, the Oreos will suck you in, right? If that makes me a boomer, then I'm fine with it. But this is just wild. All those Nanoleaf light panels, the Nanoleaf lines, that extra accent on the outside, the crazy RGB ceiling with the Starry Night effect going on. This is just an absolutely wild setup by Threx here. Man, this is phenomenal. 20 out of 10 rating here. Now, next up is Haku, and this one just pops out to me and sticks out so much more than a typical setup would, and I don't know what it is. Perhaps it's the symmetry and just the way the whole setup is laid out. I love the addition of all that shelving above the monitors with all those binders and just the organization there. The all white with the pops of green and the plants on each side. It's a really nicely laid out room, and the kid in me is also pumped that there's a spiral staircase here. I feel like everyone loves a spiral staircase, right? And he's got one here. Check out the green sofa as well, matching the plants. It's just this really cool nook he has going on for whatever, gaming, music production. It's a great setup. Anyways, checking out the gear now. For those two monitors, you guys know I love me the stacked orientation. They are both LG 34-inch ultra-wides, and up top is a BenQ screen bar. Down for the peripherals, you have an Idabao ID87 keyboard. Loving the light green keycaps on here with the wrist rest as a nice accent as well. With the Logitech MX Master 3S mouse. For some gear right up top on that shelf, we have a Loupedeck Plus, the Elgato Stream Deck. And he's also using the Astro Mixamp Pro TR to control his headset, which is not Astro, but the Logitech G Pro X. But also for audio, on each side of the monitors are two different speakers. Mounted horizontally, we have the Yamaha NX N500 with the Audio Engine A2 Plus. They're the white small ones on each side of the monitor as well. And I'm really liking that 3D sound absorption panel. Again, both on each side, which is what I hit on before with the symmetry here. It's so well done. Now, if you're curious about where the PC is, it's actually mounted underneath the desk. This is an Omen HP25L. Inside Intel i7 10700F CPU, 16 gigs of HyperX Fury RAM, and I'm not sure what the actual GPU model, but it's a GTX 1660 Super. So Haku here with a gorgeous setup. I love all you got going on here, man. This looks so nice. Really digging the transformation and what you did with this room to bring it to life. And then lastly today is GenAx here. This is a nice and concise setup, which seems to be a part of like a couple setup with another one to the left side of the room there. But I'm really digging the all black and white matching aesthetic with the wooden accents here with the desk in that custom front panel on his PC, which of course we'll check out coming up in a minute. So for the single display here, it's a Gigabyte 32-inch, the M32Q. And right below that is actually a 15-inch monitor from Lenovo. It's the ThinkVision M15. So 2 monitors. Obviously the primary is a Gigabyte, but nice having that second reference screen down here as well. Down to his peripherals, we have the SteelSeries Apex M750 TKL, paired with the SteelSeries Rival 600 mouse and the SteelSeries Arctis 7 wireless headset. And that crazy numpad looking thing is actually something I showed off before in the channel. That's the Azeron Cyborg. It is a crazy gamepad here. It's unreal. It's as crazy as it looks. But again, all black and white, loving the matching here. And as you probably saw for audio, his speakers he actually has mounted on each side of the monitor. They're the Logitech Z207. Definitely a unique way to have that set up here, but if they're right there at your level, I see nothing wrong with it. But now for the PC, this is the NZXT H500i case. And as I mentioned, we have a custom front panel there. For some extra intake, he actually made his own bamboo panel, again, to help with that wooden accent so it all matches, with this whole pattern drilled into it for that extra front intake. Definitely a creative piece to add to the room. So inside here is an AMD Ryzen 5 3600 CPU, cooled by the Noctua NH-U12S Chromax Black cooler, all Noctua fans inside as well. We have 16 gigs of Corsair Vengeance LPX RAM on an Asus ROG Strix B550F motherboard with an RTX 3080 Founders GPU, some white braided cables inside as well, again to match it to that all black and white theme. And like I said, this is obviously part of a couple setup here at this massive desk, with this being on the right side here, a great use of the space really. And something little to point out, I really like the wallpaper. It's like that slight 3D geometric print, but it's like a silver pattern on white, so you can only sort of see the gloss in different lighting. I think it's a nice little, accent piece. But yes, all in all, really loving the setup. I do wish we had a wide shot of the whole room so we could see both setups, but that's okay. This episode is sponsored by the Corsair K70 Pro Mini Wireless. Their brand new 60% wireless hot swap keyboard, meaning you can swap out the switches to your liking. Compatible with any MX style switch, you can go from clicky, linear to tactile, the ball's in your court. Plus, with a standard bottom row and a built-in 360-degree light strip around the case, you can now customize the wireless keyboard more than ever. If you want to check it out, I'll have a link for you in the description down below for the brand new K70 Pro Mini Wireless. So alright guys, that'll wrap it up for episode 269 of Room Tour Project. Hope you enjoyed these sexy setups. Reminder, all the gear and hardware we showed off today we listed for you in the description down below so you can check it out for your own setup. If you like this episode, give it a big thumbs up to show your support. Feel free to follow me on Twitter at RandomFrankP. And last, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Hope you all enjoyed. Thanks for coming by. What's up, guys? I'm Random Frank P, back with episode 253 of Room Tour Project, the series where we show off some of the best setups to give you some ideas and inspirations for your own setup. This week, we got some killer ones planned. We'll call this Hot Damn Edition. So anything you like today, I'll have it all listed for you in the description down below so you can check out all the gear and hardware. We'll kick it off. What's up, guys? I'm Random Frank P, back with episode 253 of Room Tour Project, the series. What's up, guys? I'm Random Frank P, back with episode 277 of Room Tour. What's up, guys? I'm Random Frank P, back with episode 271 of Room Tour Project, the series we show off some of the best setups to give you some ideas and inspiration for your own setup. If you see anything you like today, I'll have it all listed for you in the description down below so you can check it all out. We'll kick it off now. 271. Man, oh man, is it good to be back. Nearly 4 months since the last episode. That intro was actually filmed there after Halloween, so it's been a minute. Back today with a super nice black and green setup here. Really digging the geometric shapes above the setup to add some texture. And as you can see, he's got some old GPUs on display. That 1080 fits perfectly. Even peep the fish tank over on the left side, also black and green, all fitting together. So for his main display, that's an LG 34-inch ultra-wide, and I like how that black and green wallpaper just fits in perfectly with the setup theme, obviously, and spans pretty much into the RGB behind the desk and down to his custom mouse pad. Ooh, really liking this build. So for its peripherals, we have a Tofu 65. It's got a brass plate, lubed and filmed Gateron milky yellow switches inside. And those black and neon green keycaps are from Polycaps or their code PBT set. He even supplied us with a sound test. Sounded nice and marbly. And then for his mouse, it is a Corsair Saber RGB Pro wireless. You can take a look underneath the desk. Pretty damn good job here for cable management. Not a lot hanging down at all. You can also see his headphones, keeping them off the desk. Those are the Black Shark Goblin X5. Now over to the PC, this is the Lian Li LanCool 215 case inside the Ryzen 7 5800X with a Deepcool Castle 240EX AIO. We got 32 gigs of G.Skill Trident Z RGB RAM on a Gigabyte B550 Aorus Master motherboard with an EVGA RTX 3080 FTW3 GPU, custom braided cables. Again, you know what it is. All black and neon green. The entire setup here, aesthetically on point. Surprised no Razer gear with all his black and green, but man, really loving what he's got going on. Next up today, we have Chris, and it's been a long time since we've had these custom desk PCs. I feel like this was a massive starting trend in 2016-ish. We saw a lot of really cool stuff then, not a lot since. That's where Chris is coming with his killer desk redemption here. We'll check that out in a second. He's got 3 displays, this primary being an Asus ROG, the PG34-8Q, and then on each side of the vertical orientation, he has 2 27-inch monitors from Asus as well. Checking out some of that gear for his audio setup, he does have Logitech G560 LightSync speakers with a Diva Phantom speaker in the back. That's crazy. And also, he's a Leopold FC990C in the Neubauer Heavy 9 steel case. Whew. Got the Logitech MX Master 3 mouse, the Elgato Stream Deck, and over on the left side, you can see that is a 3D modeling mouse. It's a 3D connection. Now, into that custom desk, as you can see, this is off to the right side in pretty much an entirely glass enclosure here with an Intel 11900K CPU, obviously with a custom cooling loop to run inside. It's got 32 gigs of G.Skill Trident Z RGB RAM on a Z590 Aorus Pro motherboard with an MSI RTX 4090 Gaming Trio graphics card, and obviously a bunch of fans inside to keep the system running cool with that all-glass enclosure. Got a nice Iron Man helmet up top. This is a really nice creative setup. Love seeing stuff like this, Chris. Now we have Give 'em Chills, and this is actually a dual setup here. We're going to focus on the primary setup. Tons of RGB in the room. Got some Govee RGB ropes, the hexagon panels. This is wild. Very cotton candy is what I'm getting here. So again, for this main setup, the primary monitor is from AOC. It's a 34-inch curved, 1 millisecond, 144 hertz panel with the 27-inch monitor on the left side in the vertical orientation from Innocent, that is 4K. Then down to the desktop peripherals, we have a Gamma K LK68 keyboard, modded a bit with some keycaps, and I'm really digging the mouse here. So underrated. I loved it when it came out, the SteelSeries Aerox 3. This is the Ghost Edition, and you can see it has that translucent sort of shell, and just fits in perfectly. Even got his own custom mouse pad made as well. And then for audio, he has the Edifier M4 speakers in white. right next to that really nice looking PC. This is from Be Quiet. It's their Silent Base 802 case in all white. Inside's a 5900X CPU with a Be Quiet AIO, 32 gigs of Nectac Shadow Series RGB RAM on a B550A Strix motherboard with a Gigabyte Vision RTX 3070
To sum it all up, the two-stage training approach for the VQVAE allows us to effectively learn discrete representations that maximize reconstruction quality for proteins. This method not only enhances accuracy, but also provides a robust framework for understanding complex molecular structures. In the first stage, we focus on learning the encoder and the codebook. During this phase, we utilize a relatively small and efficient decoder, which allows us to train quickly while still capturing the essential features of our protein structures. Now moving on to the second stage. Here we freeze the encoder and codebook that we learned in the first stage and shift our focus to training a larger and more computationally expensive decoder. Welcome back to our channel. Today, we're diving into an exciting topic in the world of bioinformatics and machine learning: how we can enhance the understanding of protein structures using the VQVA architecture. So, let's get started. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more content on bioinformatics and machine learning. Also, if you have any questions or topics you'd like us to cover, drop them in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. The overall process helps us to generate what we call structure tokens. Let's break down how these tokens are created. Local neighborhood. For each residue in the protein, we find the 16 nearest residues based on the distance between their C5 atoms. Embed neighbors. We then embed the relative positions of neighbors to retain spatial relationships. Encoding. These neighbors are passed through our VQVA encoder. Quantization. Finally, we extract the first elements from this data, project it linearly, and quantize it to create our discrete structure tokens. First, what exactly is VQVAE? The Variational Quantized Variational Autoencoder, or VQAE, is a powerful neural network architecture designed for generating discrete representations of data. In our case, it helps in learning accurate structural representations of proteins. Now, to maximize reconstruction quality when using VQVAE, we typically train the autoencoder in two stages. Here's how it works. Welcome back to our channel. Today we're diving into an exciting topic in the world of bioinformatics and machine learning: how we can enhance the understanding of protein structures using the VQ-VAE architecture. So, let's get started. First, what exactly is VQ-VAE? The Variational Quantized Variational Autoencoder, or VQ-VAE, is a powerful neural network architecture designed for generating discrete representations of data. In our case, it helps in learning accurate structural representations of proteins. To sum it all up, the two-stage training approach for the VQ-VAE allows us to effectively learn discrete representations that maximize reconstruction quality for proteins. This method not only enhances accuracy, but also provides a robust framework for understanding complex molecular structures.
TI, the vision is the way to go here with this case. Aesthetically, all looks so clean here. I love an all-white build like this. Again, a little peek underneath the desk. Really good job. There's a lot of stuff going on with this setup, and it's all contained really nicely with some cable raceways, so nothing's hanging down and being an eyesore. But man, this is a very colorful but neatly organized and well done setup, giving you chills from Give 'em Chills. Next up, we have a little teaser video from Yudo. You may remember him. We've showed off a ton of his setup iterations in the past, known as the Cyberjunk project. This, the CJP-04, his fourth iteration of his all entirely DIY custom setup, which, as you can see, really takes creativity to the next level. And he gave it the name Cyberjunk because a lot of the stuff he put together was with, like cardboard, masking tape, creating these really unique just designs out of really cheap DIY products, hence, the name Cyberjunk. But now this is just like, you're seeing all the different setup iterations he can make just with changing, the vinyl outlines and the color of the room. I absolutely love his creativity. Checking out some of his hardware, he's just using 2 monitors here from Samsung. They're just simple 24-inch, and they're all powered by his laptop. It's not even a crazy rig either. It's got an i5-7200U, an AMD 5 M43. He says his main PC died, so he's working on that next, but powering all this just by that laptop is pretty impressive. For his peripherals, we have Logitech MK270R keyboard with a G900 Chaos Spectrum mouse. Got the G633 Artemis Spectrum headset with Logitech Z313 speakers. So all Logitech for the peripherals. Now take a note in the middle there. That's what he calls his RGB hub pretty much. And I don't even know the way he's doing this, but it's all docked up with the simple RGB strips where he has it lined up into different zones. So that's how he can organize and create all these different colorful setups, because he has the back end so neatly organized with how he can create the different sections of RGB. It's just so impressive. And again, another setup with so much going on in terms of electronics, everything powering the setup. Cable management all kept nice and tidy underneath the desk, built in so we can hide it, keep it out of sight, and also, again, be nicely organized in case he needs to swap anything out or change anything. I love the attention to detail all around the room. Again, it's all custom and DIY. It's so creative. And honestly, when I saw this submission, that's what made me want to get back into this series again. I missed it a little bit, but it's the setups like this that take creativity to the next level that brought me back. This has got to be inspiring some of you out there to create masterpieces out of DIY stuff around the house. Yudo, you are a legend, my man. And then last but not least, on the complete opposite end of the spectrum here is Lucas. And I say that because this is, the complete opposite of RGB. This is a lot more chilled and laid back. Definitely an audiophile here. You can tell by those great studio monitor speakers there. The room is like soundproof with these really cool acoustic panels and diffusers. Loving this. That main display is actually a TV, the LG CX48, so a massive 4K TV as the primary monitor, or TV. It's not a monitor, but you get what I'm saying. On each side, those massive studio monitors, those are the Dynaudio BM12 Mark III. They're on speaker stands from Jaspers, the 8113BB. And again, look how neatly organized and routed all the cables are. It makes sense because this setup itself seems to be like in the middle of the room, so you don't want to have unsightly cables just hanging down and ruining everything. That'd also be a hazard for tripping on it, because again, it's in the middle of the room, but he's got it on lock. All right, back to his desktop and his peripherals. A super simple and all wireless setup. He's got a Logitech G915 keyboard with their tactile brown switches, Logitech G Pro X Superlight, got a pair of Hi-Fi Man Sundara 2020 headphones, and then off to the side on this stand, like I said before, definitely an audiophile. I don't even know what half this stuff is. I'll still put it in the description down below if you want to check it out and what it does. But yeah, all I know is also off to the side, it's a Dynaudio BM14S2 subwoofer there. And then rounding an audio, I don't know what half the side on this stand, like I said before, definitely an audiophile. I don't even know what half this stuff is. I'll still put it in the description down below if you want to check it out and what it does. But yeah, all I know is also off to the side, it's a Dynaudio BM14S2 subwoofer there. And then rounding it out with his PC build, this from Fractal. It's their Torrent case. Inside's an i9 9900K CPU with a Be Quiet Dark Rock Pro 4 cooler, 32 gigs of G.Skill Sniper X Urban Camo RAM with an RTX 3090 Founders Edition graphics card. So really, night and day from the all RGB setups, but like I said, this is a more acquired audiophile setup. Very obvious by his gear and some of the stuff, but I love it. It's so natural with all the light wood around the room, the natural ambient lighting, and that's why I do this series, to show you the different setups and configurations for the different user and what they're into. All right, guys, that'll wrap it up for episode 271 of Room Tour Project. Hope you all enjoyed. If you want to submit your setup, I'll have some very simple instructions in the description down below, as well as all the gear and hardware we showed off today, everything we listed down in the description. If you like this episode, give it a big thumbs up, show your support. Feel free to follow me on Twitter at RandomFrankP. And last, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Hope you all enjoyed. Have a good day. Today's episode sponsored by StockX. What's up, guys? I'm Random Frank P, back with episode